Hey, it's your girl KB back with another review for the Traitors. Okay, this is my jam, y'all. What's the name of this one? If you're gonna come for me, I'll finish it. So this is episodes 4 and 5. Cut the head off the snake. We started breakfast. They are contemplating how they gonna figure out who got murdered, or who not who got murdered, but who all may have got ran up on by the traitors, since they had to murder face to face. Monet said, we're gonna test them. We're gonna ask them all the story and see whose story different. So everybody suspected Ron a traitor. Ron said he feel like it's 3 traitors. One of them had very soft feet, very tiny feet, just real soft and delicate. Candace was like, yeah, I think it was Mara. I said, ooh. Because he's not wrong. Candace probably the one over there prancing over on little soft feet, but he said it's Mara because she's the lightest. So Michael is like, no, they asked him, so Michael, how was it when they tied you up? And he's like, I'm going to be quiet today. I'm going to be quiet today. My mouth always get me in trouble, so I'm going to just be quiet. They questioning everybody going around the table as the people come on in, right? Questioning Lisa. And I'm nervous because she wasn't tied to no tree. So what kind of story is she finna give? She was the one walking around doing the intimidating. So her retelling of the story might be different, right? So they're questioning her. She being all extra, who's going to tell me? It was a maple tree and it was the henchman. Yeah, so he had on gold, right? Yeah. No, he had on black. They're like, She real skittish and weird acting, so they're looking at her like, okay, whatever. And then she does mention an ex, right? They notice that she mentions an ex, but nobody else mentions an ex. But once she mentions it, Ron or somebody else was like, yeah, there was an ex. You're right. Yeah, there was. So then nobody really thinks too much of it, but I'm like, girl, you talking too much. Eric arrives. He thinks he's got a clue about one of the traitors because he heard a laugh. But he's not going to mention it to everybody. He's going to wait till he got enough ammo or he just at the round table, okay? He going to hold it for now. Last person that comes in, and we flash to Caroline getting murdered. They had to do it because we had to get rid of a housewife. If we didn't get rid of a housewife, they would have been on our scent, okay? They were being so mean to Caroline. I was like, do y'all have to do this? She was like, Lisa, no, run out, you bitch. Why me? You talk too much. I said, Candace, not you being the one talking about so you talk too much. So that means Kristen is saved. And I like Kristen. She cute. She got a little swag up on her. I like Kristen. Lisa is way too excited about murdering a housewife. And I'm like, Candace, keep your eye on that one. Keep your eye on there. Alan comes in, does his little spiel. They do whatever they do, throw the picture, blah, blah, blah. They end up questioning Kristen, and Tiffany is getting suspicious about her using the word ceremony. She's like, I feel like only a traitor would say that it was a ceremony, right? But, it's whatever. She really thinks that it's Jam, Michael, and Ron. All wrong. I said everybody is wrong. And the people that be right, they say it in close quarters and get axed. Oh, you think that we killing in plain sight? Get out of here, Rob C. Get out of here, Rob C. They had to get him gone. So it's like, dang, you would think that they don't need to be voicing their opinions in big rooms, but the people that have voiced it to one-on-one, Monet and Rob C, they're gone because, ain't nobody heard you say that, huh? Nobody heard you say that but me. You're out of here. So yeah, with the traitors, it pays to be loud and boisterous. So if something does happen, at least we know who on your head. At least we know who on your head. Today's mission, they gotta go out in the field and find these spears, and they get these spears, they gotta put it in the fire, and they stab and burn it in the effigy of each of the players' names, right? 10 people will be burned, thus vulnerable for murder because they're unshielded. Michael sets Tara's name, and he just keeps screaming, was it Tara? Tara! Tara! They were like, do you know he just got to say it once, right? Why is he constantly screaming like a crazy person, right? Because he is a crazy person. So Tiffany, like, I don't remember who all set the things on fire, but I love how when Tiffany saw that her stuff was on fire, she knew that it was Monet, and she set Monet's stuff and put her on fire too. Baby, when Jam Jam saw that his effigy was burning, he starts boo-hoo crying. I was like, Jam, baby, it's okay. Calm down. They trying to console him, but he's just like, I'm getting murdered. I'm going home, you guys. I'm going home. Some of the people like, oh, not Jam with the fake tears. Tears, 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 tears. Okay. Mara coming down, walking all slow, walking down the hill all slow. Rob looks over and is like, need a ride? Yeah. He picks her up, throws her over his shoulder, and just runs on down like the stud horse muffin he is. I said, gosh darn it, Rob, I ain't really like you on Love Island. You got on my nerves. But now I'm in the stands with my Go Poppy side. I ain't even gonna stay. After first it was the chess. Let's play chess. When he did that real smooth and they did the murder, then it was him faking out the conga line and going in there. And then this episode, between this and what he does later, scoot over, Carisha. I am in the stands with my Go Poppy sign from Love Island Rob. It's crazy. Who would ever think that we would be here? Certainly not I. Certainly. Alan gonna say, oh, Mara likes to rely on Rob in these missions, but come on. What about Dorinda? She hasn't had a ride in a while. I said, why they playing with Dorinda? She need to buy her a little pool boy and her buy for it. That sounded so bad. She needs to hire her a little pool boy that, provides happy endings, save them. After the mission, they eat and they investigating and everything. And Natalie is asking, was it Ron? Just like, look me in the eyes. Are you a traitor? Tiffany said, now, Natalie, what is that supposed to do? And I was wondering the same thing, because back about the man's face. So it's a conversation going on in the kitchen. I can't quite remember who it was, but I think Colton was the ringleader. It's a conversation in the kitchen about getting Tiffany out. And baby, Candace, ain't no shut doors around here. I said, period. And she's just not here for them voting Tiffany off. They mention it, and she's like, that ain't what we doing. So it's the rounds table, y'all, and I'm scared because they on Tiffany head because Colton been convincing them, and Tiffany is taking it personal, and she's like, I know I'm not supposed to take this personal, but I need this money. I'm a single mom trying to put a child through college. I need this money, okay? And while Colton is laying into her, saying that she's the traitor, Eric feels the need to pipe up and reveal what he feels, okay? Remember, he said after the traitors approached him with the murder, when they were blindfolded, he heard a laugh, y'all. He heard a laugh, and that laugh was Tiffany. I said, no, not Tiffany. He said, I know music. I study pitch, and I thought about that laugh, and it was Tiffany. Tiffany said, oh, well, you should find another job while you're here. You're wrong. Candace is like, Ron, I suspect that you are the traitor. And Tiffany's just like, oh, I don't think it's you. It's just all types of craziness. They zeroing in on Tiffany. Candace trying to take up for her. I don't think it's Tiffany. I think it's Ron. Candace crying, Tiffany crying, Tara crying, Pitbull in the corner crying. I said, Jesus, it's dang near unanimous to get Tiffany out of here because Eric and his musician ears. I said, Eric, I can't believe you right now. I can't believe you. Get his ass next. Get them next. Candace and Tiffany crying. Everybody's just so unsure. They like, I don't know what just happened, but we just went real easy. Like everybody feeling uneasy because they went real easy. Like just crazy. Tiffany gets in the circle of truth and she is her speech is all types of hilarious, y'all. She had them going like, yeah, we got. No, we didn't get it. Yeah, we got. No, we didn't get it. She's like, you guys should be proud of yourselves because you prove that you get what you deserve, okay? And y'all didn't deserve me because I'm a faithful. They are stunned. Eric and Colton mouth on the floor. Candace is pissed. Another black girl out the house. And me too. I'm mad about it too, okay? Candace looking at Eric. Eric's just like, Candace like, I believe you think what you heard. And the way that she's saying it real stern, it's funny because as a traitor, she's like, I mean, yeah, you ain't think it was me, so that's cool. But yeah, you got my girl up out this house. They all stunned and staring. Candace like, are we getting up? I said Candace has such an opportunity right now because she is playing the game as a traitor that nobody is suspecting. And so she's inadvertently one of the top 3 running the house as a faithful because she's on the defense every time a sister gets sent home. A sister gets sent home and she like, y'all sent the sister home for nothing. See what y'all out here doing to us. And they like, dang, she right. Like, that's what's happening right now. And she has such an opportunity to run this house, and she is, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And the Turk Candace is like, dang, y'all, I really liked her. She was a single mama trying to send a kid to college. They like, I hear you, but she was a gamer and she's real smart. She needed to go. It was only a time enough before she sniffed us out. I said, yeah, wasn't she the leader of the cookout? And she won her season of Big Brother. So like, best to just get her out now. So they're going through the list of people that they can murder. And essentially Lisa's like, you said Monet said my name right, because during the challenge when I was running through the woods, Monet kind of rolled up as a black sister. Monet Exchange rolled up on Candace thinking they had a black sister alliance and was like, yo, I think Lisa. What? And she was just like, oh, word. And so they say a few other people, but I already knew that stuck out because we can't have nobody on our scent just because we like them as a person, okay? You can see the regret in Candace's face, like, dang, 2 black people back to back. I said, I know. We sending home all the black people. First it'd be all the housewives on the other season, all the housewives and drag queens, and now it's all the housewives and drag queens again, and now they all black. It's just like, it's hurting my heart. But they're like, we do kind of need Monet for missions. I know, right? And I'm like, yeah. Man, Monet. Okay. Episode 5, y'all. That first one, what was the first one name? Cut the head off the snake. And episode 5 is, if you're gonna come for me, I'll finish you. You hear me? I'll finish you. This intro made me laugh because you know how they had to yell out the names as they was stepping the thing. And so when I went, Tiffany! And that's all I kept hearing. Tiffany! I'll never look at somebody the same. And Breakfast Rob is looking real familiar to me. I said, there's the Rob I know. No shirt with the overalls on, tattoo, snake eye coming out the overalls. There is the Rob we know. Baby, the girls be clean up on aisle 5 every time Rob cuts a corner, baby. They not going to cut Rob out that house unless they absolutely have to. Everybody is feeding over Rob. And I guess outside the villa in this setting, I'm like, okay, he is a good looking white guy if you're into white guys. And in this show, he is dominant. Like I said, I got my Go Poppy sign. I can't even hold you. Can't even front. So everyone is thinking real hard about who it might be. They're looking at Colton because he took a big swing and a miss. Well, what about Michael? Okay, some people feel like he's a traitor, but it ain't too much passion behind thinking he's a traitor more so than just thinking he's annoying AF. Candace said, oh, Michael has 9 lives. I said, man. And just on cue, his ugly come on through the door. Him, Jam, and Ron. Ron get the stankiest looks when they see Ron. They was just like, it's the shortest hellos, the driest highs. He all nervous. Nobody clapped. I think it was one person clapped, and that was only for Jam. Michael and Ron got no love. Ron gonna say, wow, I haven't heard this timid of applause since the first time I started doing open mic. It was a mess. So at some point, and this is where I'm guessing this is where they found the need to poke fun at Dorinda's lack of a sex life, because at one point Colton ends up talking about being gay, but he was straight for the first 29 years of his life. I guess he went on The Bachelor to be a suitor for a woman at the age of 29 is how I heard it, how I kind of think I heard it or whatever. So he's talking about that, and she's like, oh, you were on The Bachelor for a woman? I didn't know that, so you were straight? So I had a chance and missed it? She thought that he just been out or whatever. And he's like, no, it wasn't until later on. I said, this when I got the ammo to talk about her like that, because she put it out there. I could have got you and missed my chance. They coming on in, the people still coming on in for breakfast. When Mara coming, she's like, oh no, there's no more mock smoked salmon. And I said, baby, when they come in, we always hear them talking about, is there some salmon left? I'm trying to get there first. I'm trying to get to this salmon. I said, what do they be feeding them of? What is the Scottish breakfast? Let me look that up right now, actually, while we even sitting here thinking about it. Because all I ever see on the table, I know Portia was, she was eating some boiled eggs. She had a bowl of eggs, and she just was eating them boiled eggs. She was like, let me eat a third boiled egg. And I don't never see no meat outside of the salmon and pastries. I see a lot of pastries on the table. This ain't it. This an English breakfast. This don't look like what they be having for those Scottish breakfasts. Because this is the beans and the blood sausage. I don't see no beans and blood sausage on their table. They ain't feeding them that. Americans gonna be looking at that like, who this for? Now, who this for? But yeah, I don't be seeing nothing but boiled eggs, pastries, and that smoked salmon on the table. So I understand why they be feeding over that smoked salmon. They keep them hungry and on their feet, keep them agile for the mission and for all this thinking, okay? Keep them on edge. They can't really pump them with liquor like this. It ain't that type of show. But they gonna keep them hungry, I suppose. They can't eat until at the end of the day. Keep them hungry for long as possible. Child, so we see that they sent Monet home. I said, yeah, we had to do it. We had to do it. I'm sad that we ain't gonna see Monet finally no more, because they went to that picture. I said, look at Monet. I know that's right, child. Monet probably thought that they had a Black People Alliance with Candace. And then Candace was like, baby, I'm a traitor. I know I'm playing this game as a housewife, and you thought that was over everything, but baby, she's a traitor. Okay, you're out of here. Okay, how dare you sniff out my housewife? And that's what I'm like, for him to say that to a housewife, he really thought that he had a Black person, a Black sister girl type of alliance with Candace to even do that. So we see Natalie, Mara, and Michael going on as Colton being a traitor. Half the house is really on Colton's head, because it's like, you've done it again. You've led this charge. You've led this charge, a big swing and a miss, and now what we finna do? During the contemplation time, one group stood aside and they're like, why do we listen to Colton? He let us out in the bad vote. Yeah, well, we should send him through a bad vote. We should send him through a bad vote. Why do we all follow him? Says Natalie. Because everybody really did just blindly jump onto what they said when every time y'all done this, it's been false. It has not got y'all a traitor. The traitors are not slipping up. So y'all thinking the people gonna slip up and that's the traitor? Come on. It's mission time, and they gotta wade through this murky red water that will lead them to these coins. They find the coins, go out into the forest where these statues at, put the coin in to collect the statue, open up the little cage up under there. It might be some shields for you, baby. But wait, if everybody leaves the shields, there's no murder tonight. But if at least one person takes the shield, murder away. Okay, so they're going around. Some of the teams got go to see some pick up their statues, and it's one or two shields under there. Some of the teams go and it's four. It's one for everybody under there. So they sitting there contemplating like, are we gonna take these shields or no? Candace is just like no, that we ain't even got there yet. Candace is looking like she don't even want to get in this water. She's just like, but I don't want to, but fine. She takes off her sweatshirt, get on in there in this little murky water. She said, if I fall in this water, I might get a yeast infection. And who's going to take care of my coochie? I said, because that would literally be my thought process. Like, hold up, this don't look all types of kosher, bro. She said, who's going to take care of my coochie? But she gets on in there. Don't look like she feeling nothing. But once they get to running out to get the statues, Candace is on the team with Colton. And she's like, what's going to happen? Because she knows that he's real sneaky. We did hear Colton say that he vowed that whenever there's a chance to get a shield, he's going to get that shield. So he's looking at the shield like, y'all want to get the shield? Y'all think other people getting the shield? Candace's like, I mean, maybe. Maybe other people getting the shields. I don't know. We see Natalie and her team. She's like, I mean, I trust me, but I don't really trust them. So should we get a shield because they're not trustworthy? Natalie looking at Dorinda looking at Natalie. By the end, Candace just trying to stay out the way because she is now no types of involved in carrying this statue, okay? Rob run up there like Baywatch to come help and get them in a little faster to take some of the load off. I said, come on, go Poppy. Go Poppy, okay? But once they get there and they place the statue, they got to turn the little thing. So Candace jump in and that's what she doing. I said, that's all right, you wasn't no good carrying that stuff back, but you got in there when you needed to get in there. So good job for that, okay? Candace is playing such a good job as a traitor and a faithful. Candace get in that water. Alan made a joke like, oh, housewife squealing or something. Something crazy, right? So Candace will still being a team player. She got scratched up by them trees. She's like, I am so in. They finish in time. The red liquid gets spraying all through the fountain and stuff. Can't remember how much money they got, but Alan doesn't tell if anybody took a shield or not. So back at the house, after this, they're eating and everything. Colton asks Michael, so does Alan wear the same clothes in the turret? Michael kind of stutters and like he's about to answer, but he kind of hears what happens and he kind of pauses. So now everybody's looking at Michael like, a word? You was about to answer the question. Later, we see Rob kind of being like, but to be fair, he kind of always stupidly pauses before he starts to talk. At this point, Michael Rappaport is on a rampage, okay? Because this happened, a few people kind of start whispering and scurry away from that room. So he already know they talking about him and spreading that he might be a traitor and stuff. So he gets to going from room to room. I know what you're talking about. You talking about me? You just told them this. And he's just going around just screaming. Everybody's just like, what is happening? And he gets into the room where Colton is talking and he's like, you still got egg on your face for sending Tiffany home, okay? You should chill. I said, oh, not Michael Rappaport being right. Not y'all let him be right. He ain't lying. The house only needed this moment to let him ride out though, because he's annoying and he's just terrorizing the house, tormenting the whole house. They literally can't have conversations about who they might think the traitor is because Michael is running around screaming, distracting everybody from conversations. Yet again, he does this throughout the house and he does this at the round table. They're pretty much sick of it. I said they only gonna be fake mad when they find out you're faithful. So it's round table time. Everybody's just kind of sitting there quiet. Candace said, okay, so I'll start things off. Can we address the shouting in the kitchen? I said, baby, why is Candace just running this house? Because everybody is so timid and don't know what to do. And Candace is like, this need to be done. Let's do it. Faithfuls unite. Put your hands in. They're like, hell yeah, faithfuls. And she's like, faithfuls, you think. Dumb faithfuls, I'm a traitor. She's a traitor. But Candace is essentially just kind of running this house, if you ask me. So what happened? What happened in the kitchen? Michael starts talking, conniving, colluding, commiserating Colton. He's trying to do to me what he did to Tiffany, and I'm not going. Because I'm from New York, and I'm that wigger. And I'm not going with you hunks, because you guys are the hunks. I think he said, Colton, Rob, was it Steven or Mark? One other guy, but definitely Colton and Rob. They're the hunks. The dumb hunks is what he really wants to say, and he just don't put nothing past them, and he don't trust them. He ain't going. He tells them, you need to be sitting tight because you just ran a crusade and got a faithful out, okay? And you had a secret for 29 years, and that would make you the perfect traitor. Everybody's like, oh, Michael. Eric is like, are you homophobing him? What is happening? Everybody's just disgusted at Michael. Now, the reviewers, everybody online is like, I don't think Michael meant it that way. How else could you have meant it? I just don't understand how else you could have meant it if the man literally just said he was straight 29 years of his life and then ended up coming out later after being on The Bachelor, and you literally use that same thing against him. How is it not about him? The secret is he was gay. So yes, the secret is the secret, and not necessarily, oh, it's not the fact that you was gay, it's the fact that you was keeping a secret. Yeah, but the secret is being gay, so it's still going back to where we started. So I was like, am I being gaslit? Okay, it don't matter. It don't matter. Michael is just yelling, conniving, colluding, commiserating Colton. Rob is like, oh my gosh, Michael, commiserating means to feel sorry for someone. I'm like, and I was thinking that too, because I think of commiseration and I think of like in reference to condolences and sympathy, funerals and stuff like that. So when he kept saying commiserate, I'm like, he colluding to feel bad for somebody? Like, what are you saying? He's like, no, it doesn't. That's what yes, it is. That's what it means. And I said, Rob, baby, I got my Go Poppy sign full black. My Go Poppy sign got glitter on it at this point. My Go Poppy sign got glitter on it because Rob corrected him, and you could tell Michael was stunned because, like I said, the unspoken part of the hunks is the dumb hunks. So for one of the dumb hunks to correct him, and for him to be the only one is the part that cracked me up, because I was sitting here like, am I tripping? Commiserate don't mean what he think it means, because he ain't using it like I think he should be using it. So that had me cracking up, y'all. They're like, listen, only one of the 4 people that initially put Michael down on the first night is here. Just one of the 4, okay? And then he's like, well, I think it's him. Dorinda says, I think it's him and Ron. No, Ron says, I think it's him and Dorinda. I think Dorinda is doing his dirty work. Because he like, you think that the Traitors is just letting me take all these kills? No, I think you getting Dorinda to somehow do your dirty work. Dorinda calls Ron a housewife hunter and says that he never talks and tries to open up. Ron goes off. My family is none of your effing business. I said, calm down. Please don't give them a reason to try to put the angry black man stereotype on you. But you're doing a lot. My family's none of your effing business. And he basically says that he feels like learning people's personal life and everything clouds their vote for seeing if they're a traitor or not. You're swaying your opinion, right? And I get that. But calm down. And please, let's not take the focus off of Michael. We're so close. We're so close. Candace is like, yeah, I always thought that it was Ron. Between you sending Portia home and then the way you rode for Donna and Donna was a traitor, I still think it's Ron. Michael is just like, yeah, Ron is a traitor. And then Colton, we're coming after you next. And Natalie's just like, focus, okay? Because Michael just said and did some very homophobic stuff just 5 minutes ago at this very table. We have to get him out. Eric is like, even if you're a faithful, you're in the way. You're just a bad faithful. Michael says the guy with the magic ears. Baby, I hollered. Says the guy with the magic ears that got Tiffany sent home. Oh my God. I was too through off of that one, y'all. And they're just like, I don't even want to be in the same room with you. Like I said, they are disgusted because he really did just come off homophobic. I ain't gonna say he was, but he came off homophobic. When the camera flips over to Alan, he's over there like, it looked like he just came from like, yeah, we're gonna have to get his ass out of here. Did he just say that to him? We cannot have a homophobe in my castle. Yes, it's the time to vote. I was like, yeah, it's time to vote. Lisa like, Michael is a problem. He's a distraction. But he's a distraction, so it works for the Traitors. She votes for Ron, as does Candace. The gays are absolutely on Michael's head and vote for him to go out because of what he said to Colton. So all the gays and allies, it's you. Dorinda votes for Ron, even though Michael thinks she's a traitor. It's dang near split down the middle with Ron and Michael. They're like, you talk way too much, but you don't say a lot. And Michael is out of here. Y'all, while he put on his little New York hat, you know, he got to remind you from New York every minute. He put on his New York hat. He do his little b-boy stance. You just voted out the best looking, smartest, dopest, faithful ever. They're like, he was a faithful, oh no, get your homophobes out of here. We don't care. He gives an apology in his confessional because he says that he did not mean to seem like he was coming for Colton's sexuality, but I'm just like, how could you have not been? Alan is like, but wait, don't forget about them shields, y'all. Wow, don't forget about them shields. Y'all will find out at breakfast tomorrow. Y'all can go to bed nervous. I said with that murder shirt on. Everyone's like, well, at least we can think clear without Michael being here screaming and distracting everybody from the scheduled program. Colton is nervous because Michael pointed out some good points about how he playing this game and he might be the traitor, and even if he ain't the traitor, he messing it up the game for everybody else, and we need to get him out. Colton is over there talking to Dorinda like, hey, is Lisa always this quiet? Dorinda's like, no, I was just really thinking about that. Colton was like, yeah, because I feel like she would be a pit bull like me. She'll be coming at everybody, right? Rob in the corner playing it cool, but like, dang. Colton said his first red flag for Lisa was night one when he voted for Portia, when she voted for Portia. And they said, have we ever heard her accuse someone? Has she ever voiced who she thinks it is? They're like, no, I don't think so. She just always has on her sunglasses. And at breakfast, she's real extra, real out there, but never at the round table. Jam said, yeah, but she gave us the best description of the traitor. He's like, yeah, because she saw, because she ran into him 3 times with the killers. She was out there doing it. So they all like, what? Mara's like, I've never really been suspicious of her though. Rob is like, I never really thought about her, or really talk to her much. I said, come on, Rob, go Robbie. He is holding it down, okay? But inside he is nervous because this here is a lion, so he don't want to show no any type of, oh no, but it's Traitors over everybody. So he got to make sure that he protect his girl over anything. We randomly see this scene of Johnny and Tara sneaking hugs and stuff because, you know, they besties on the low. They like, oh my gosh, Rob is so fine. I just can't stand it. I said, I know, right? I know. It is so funny how this house is when it comes to Rob. Because when they had the throne challenge and Monet was like, I want Rob to throw me. And Jeff Jones like, me next. Every chance they get, they are swooning over Rob. Whew, Rob. Whew, Rob. And at first I was kind of like, calm down. He is not even all that. But now I'm like, go Poppy. Like I said, from the Let's Play Chess moment when they figured out they was doing a murder in plain sight and they had to have that conversation and they did it over a game of chess. Superb. 10 out of 10. No notes. Some of the best gameplay we've seen on this show. From Mara struggling down that hill, you need a ride? Him throwing her little self over his shoulder and just running all down like literally like a horse just running through the fields, unfazed by this woman over his shoulder. And then we get down to him knowing words and correcting Michael with commiserate. I said, gosh damn it, I stand and I cannot believe that we're here. We get to the turret and they're just like, did any of y'all get a shield? Nobody of the Traitors teams got a shield, but they still don't know if any of the other teams got one. So they're like, wow, Coulson didn't get one? I just knew he was going to get one. Right. And most of the house is on him anyway because of what Michael said. So it's just like, we can probably just go ahead and get Coulson out. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't track back to Lisa because he said, because Rob does tell Lisa, hey, he is onto you. He think that you the traitor because you always got your sunglasses on. You never talk and you just expressive at breakfast but never at the round table. She's like, damn, okay, I'll talk more. But also, Michael put the target on Coulson because him being a bad faithful, him getting Tiffany out of here and just everything. So we might can skate on by with Coulson getting up out of here. So that is where the episode ends. We will find out next week or this week in a few days what the heck gonna be. I said, man, I really enjoyed these episodes. It was real good. So y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, let me know what y'all thought, and share it with your friends, y'all. Bye.